now we're entering in Delaric Row, one of the part of the Detroit City Hub that started as a zone of exploration that was adding the gangs and everything to add some combat opportunities or stealth opportunities a little bit more in the City Hub and everything. But the thing is that in our story beats that we already identified, we didn't have
this at all. Yeah. No, the original plan for Detroit was that you had the objective of going to the limb clinic, go to the police station, and the police station would be the area with the real challenge, and then you would go to your apartment, and then you would go straight to FEMA. But we had this entire section that sprung up from the level designers wanting to put that darn gameplay into there.
And that whole environment was actually from the very first vertical slice. So the whole environment, the whole courtyard with the ruined buildings, is very, very old, and we just patch in more gameplay aspect, more smaller rooms and all that throughout the production. And so VS1, VS2, all the way to Alpha and Beta. So that environment is definitely old, both visually and also technically in the game.
Yeah, and so suddenly we had this area where there's like, okay, well, we were kind of thinking about rival gangs in the city, so we kind of suddenly made it the gang territory. But then it was like, we need an objective to send you in there. And it was like, we don't have one. And that's where the antenna came from, is that we just kind of had to
well placed
come up with a story reason why you have to get into gang territory to shut down an antenna.
And players weren't finding the antenna.
We had so many problems. Yeah, it was that was on me. I mean, it was basically bad level design to place that antenna not in your line of sight or entice it properly and whatnot. So it was a very bad thing to do. But try to patch a good system. This is where we actually try to optimize our checkpoint system, the objective locator, place it to more like a piece of bread bread system, breadcrumb. Thank you. Throughout the game,
So when we're asked if story come first or gameplay come first, well, in this case, gameplay really came first.
So what? Look around you. If he wants to snip something other than good for him.
Turn around, Hawk. This doesn't concern you.
So the entry of Delaric Row, like we had this door which was kind of the main path, the choke point to get into the gang territory, but it turned out that it was really hard to draw players' attention in that direction. They were always distracted by other things, and we did tons of things here to try to draw their attention in that direction.
Yeah, and trying to link this whole environment, the whole Derelict Row environment, very gameplay, very combat approach, combat supported, and to stream that environment, which visually is completely different from the rest of the City Hub. Then to technically stream it properly, we had to make.
Jensen!
How can I help you, Francis?
You know why I'm contacting you.
The transmission that's making a mockery of your security efforts?
It's keeping a back door open into our network. None of us are secure unless you find the antenna that's sending it and shut it down.
For you, anything.
See? Didn't I tell you it was a stupid idea to let those security-first assholes set up camp on our turf?
Yeah, but it wasn't our decision, so too bad. Besides, they paid rent like everybody else, so what's the big deal?
Come on. These fucks have been coming in here promising all sorts of glory and bullshit if we join them. And all they're doing is getting us killed.
You're just jealous because they never took you.
After the way they fucked up their op in Milwaukee Junction, this shit is going up that good for someone over there?
this environment, the whole courtyard environment, was the very first one where we basically tested outside of very independent gyms, very safe and static gyms from the programmer side. But this is where the actual in-game environment, where we wanted to test, to play out with how the AI respond correctly from the player on the stealth aspect and also the combat aspect. And we had also the police station, but police station was mostly corridors. Here we had a very open type of environment with verticality and whatnot. So it was a very old environment, but it was almost a test gen that we actually produced and left in the game. So
Sweet. Just my little surprise for the MCBs. And ain't nobody gonna jack it. You got me?
I got you. No jacking off with a rocket launcher.
Don't get smart. Just check inside once in a while in case someone tries to get into the thing. You feel me? I feel it. Air vent, elevator shaft. We had cable. How come I ain't nothing but Piker's Moose? That's all we do, Jack. Ever since that Curie dude went up on the roof and hacked the antenna. Sanders, friend? You let him up near the helipad? He said he'd get us born. And you believe it? Telling you something big is going on in Highland Park. Now, Stewie didn't say much, but when he got close to the warehouse, there were already people in there. Was it the bangers? I heard they've been expanding out there. No, from what he described, it was too slick even for them. Access granted.
Boss, is that back door still open?
No, good job. Frank just sent me the all clear. Now it's time to find the bastards who attacked us. Farida, you standing by?
On the line, boss. Jensen, you reading me?
Loud and clear.
Stay close to the antenna. Pritchard sent me the coordinates for it. I'm coming to pick you up.
Here's the antenna that we need to shut down to end this this part of the quest. The thing is that, you know, it looks like a pretty normal antenna at this point, but it used to be very, very high design, I guess. we had designed something that looked nothing like an antenna.
And nobody guessed, oh, that's an antenna?
No, people would just get there and just like start spinning in circles looking for a goddamn antenna, and the whole time they were just right next to it. But I thought it looked nice, but you just have to realize at one point, yeah, this design really sucks, and let's
Is
just...
it form over function or
yeah,
function over form? I forget.
That was form over function, literally. And then we ended up putting it into function over form, yeah.
But what's cool with also the antenna, once it works and people know that it is an antenna, actually, it's that you can go there before having the actual mission, and you can complete the objective ahead of the time.
Yeah, and we had a lot of fun with that one, just kind of trying to figure out what would happen if you went to it first. And I personally love what happens with Pritchard when you do that, and you're like, Pritchard, what? And he doesn't answer. And it was very funny here on the team because not everybody knew that within our team that we had planned it, that you could do it out of order. And I remember one of the programmers one day sitting down and playing the game and suddenly realized, wait a minute, I'm going to go straight to Derelict Run. I'm going to shut down that antenna and trick game design and prove to them that they didn't figure it all out. And then they got there and they shut it down and they heard Pritchard's dialogue and they thought, oh my God, they really did figure everything out ahead of time. So we were smart that time.
Yes,
that time.
Richard, you got coordinates on that factory yet?
I was only able to pinpoint an approximate area, Jensen. So scout around and look for anything unusual. I'll keep monitoring the frequency in case it suddenly goes active.
Yo, what's good, man? You looking for some new toys? I can make you a good deal.
Might be a good idea to stock up. What do you have?
Shit, son. We got some hot items right now. Check it out. What you need?
I'll take a grenade pack.
Good choice, son. Anything else?
I'm good for now. Thanks for the offer.
All good, son. Peace. And watch your back.
So right now we're looking at the FEMA merchant, the gangers who can sell you weapons. This was something that I think we decided to introduce. Originally we had the plan that you would only get merchants in the areas who would do it, but we wanted to kind of vary things up. And so we were asked to write for this merchant. But sometimes when you're writing for games, you're writing a long time before the actual, certain details, like you don't know how much things cost, you don't even know what's in their stockpiles, but we didn't realize that at first. So this was a real challenge because we had written and we had recorded a whole bunch of lines for this that actually were going off of information we thought at the time was accurate, such as how much things cost and what weapons would be offered to you. And we'd actually written it using those lines and those words, only to discover much later that when we were doing the balancing that we couldn't give them those weapons and that things needed to cost more money. And since we'd already recorded it all, we actually had to kind of do this hack into the system and totally change with the lines that we had and try and just use lines that were very neutral and stuff. So this was quite a headache to create this merchant.
Didn't I tell you this ahead of time and you just didn't listen to me?
No.
Manderley was supposed to have that morgue locked down, but somebody got to the corpse before we did. We can still reconfigure, track this Yahoo down.
It's too late for that. It's time to clean up.
But what about the Dutchman?
No loose ends, Barrett.
I'll make the call.
Get out of sight, now.
Why? What's going on?
They're here. The mercs who killed Megan and her team.
Fuck.
I'm going in.
This is football, man. I hate running with my tail between my legs like this.
Orders are orders. Besides, we're about to pull out anyway. Just waiting on confirmation about you.
I still can't believe he's dead. 3 months undercover with a security breach, and something blows at his last minute.
You mean somebody? Maybe even the same guy who got inside that war.
Man, I'd like to get my hands on that one.
Tells me you're on the old one.
Oh.